Hello everybody, this is going to be the part 1 tutorial of Infinity Easy full walkthrough, full level walkthrough. This will cover from the beginning of the level all the way up to after the Phantom clear at the cutscene. There will be a second part to this that will be released shortly after, covering the second part of the level with all the difficult tricks. But let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do here is go for a few slide jumps. Now let me preface this, I'm going to be using HCM. I highly suggest everybody watching this video should do it as well. This will make it so you can learn the clears a lot easier because this is a combat heavy mission with also some tricky movement and tricks. So we're going to sprint up to this side. And once we get to about this dark spot right here where this dip is, we're going to sprint and jump off to this bush right here. So let's do that. And we're going to do crouch about there, and we're going to go for a slide. Now, we don't always get a slide there. You want to slide off of this polygon. We're going to proceed forward. Now the second slide is going to occur at this pebble on the ground, and we're going to aim for roughly in between these two stumps. Let's back up. Didn't get another slide there. It's a little bit finicky for these first slides. There's a pretty decent one. Now we're going to proceed forward and kind of just muscle run off of here. Now this is going to be another slide right here. There's a few different slides we can do. The first one I suggest is jumping off of this lowered part of the branch. And we're going to aim for this bush right here. And sometimes we get a slide, sometimes we don't. The polygons here aren't the best. Another one we can do here is this way.
Check his IFF tag.
And we can jump up onto this rock right here and get up here. So they're both about the same speed. It's just whatever one you prefer. Now here we're going to have two different routes. I'm going to show the IL route, which I wouldn't suggest unless if you have like a sub 1140. I'm going to show it anyways. You're going to run up and jump once you touch this bush. You're going to cut sprint and slide off of this rock right here. Now, I waited a long time so all these crawlers are here. Typically, you won't have crawlers and you'll land roughly right here. The method I suggest for everybody else is to go on top of these branches. This will avoid getting shot. And then we're going to go all the way up to the tip here and jump over. And then we're going to headshot one or both of those crawlers. Okay, this is going to be the first out of bounds of the level. This is the Infinity out of bounds found by Hark. So there's going to be two different methods to go out of bounds here. I'm not going to be showing full path, but if you'd like to see what an optimal full path looks like, I will put a card in the top right hand corner right now. Just follow along, and once we get to the load zone for the next area, you can follow this tutorial again. So the fastest method I will be showing off first here is to crouch jump onto this little branch on this green spot, and then you want to uncrouch before you land. It's a little tricky. Now, next thing I'm going to do here is aim for this branch, like this little black line. And before I land, I'm going to cut sprint and crouch. And I'm going to turn towards the wall and start moving forward. Just like that. Now, this one can be a bit tricky, especially if you're getting shot. And you want to be quick here until you're onto this rock. Once you're onto this rock, do this. Once you're onto this rock, you can sprint to the right here. So you see this branch, you want to kind of go on this sunny rock area and proceed forward. Now I'll show the rest of this here in a second. But let's do the consistent method. The way I suggest pretty much everybody do it, especially for a full game, until you become more familiar with the last one. Now, like I said, it's not that hard, but if you do get shot, you won't make the jump. So it's a little tricky in that sense. Okay, the next one is we're going to move up to this next load zone. Now, you don't want to move too far forward because you'll actually hit spawns further into the mission. Not too big of a deal, but it is something to consider. Now, we're going to jump in between these two rocks. We're going to jump on top of, let's see. We're going to jump on top of this rock right here. Then we're going to jump on top of this log, move forward until we're in the V crack, and then we're going to jump up one more time. Now, same thing as before, we want to sprint towards this sunny log. Otherwise, you will hit this hard barrier to the right side, and it's pretty annoying. Okay, now that we're out of bounds, as we pass this log right here, there's going to be like a branch. We want to jump onto that branch, but we don't really want to hit it. So just be mindful of that. Then we're going to sprint over into this right side corner. This is where we hit the next load zone, which is necessary to be hit. We're then going to proceed backwards and sprint on this log. Now, it's very lenient because there is this hard barrier to catch you. So as long as you hit this log in some way or form, you can slide back down and land here. Now you do want to be careful here because this hole still exists. We're going to jump over the hole. Now there's still a hard barrier here, so don't be too, you don't have to be super careful, but just be careful of that. Now there's two different routes here. I'm going to be showing the fastest method, of course, first. Once again, I don't really recommend this until you're getting into top 3 trophy territory, or you're just really good at movement and you want to learn the high level movement tricks. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to sprint off this edge of this rock. We're going to aim towards this left tree trunk, and then we're going to slide upon this rock, quickly jump onto this rock, and then curve jump to this branch. It sounds complicated. It is kind of complicated, and I'm probably not going to get this first try, but I will show clip now. Okay, now let's go over the normal route, which I suggest everybody else do, especially for legendary, because that's 4 seconds of time save that's not needed. So we're going to sprint onto this rock, try to sprint as long as possible, and then crouch before you get there to cut your sprint early. You can jump to here. You want to have as much sprint as possible here, so muscle run is needed. We're going to then come over to this left rock, about the edge of this bush, and we're just going to sprint and jump onto here. Now there's once again another hard barrier that will push you back in place. And if you land down here, see if I can get there real quick. If you land here, just jump back up onto this log and try again. So not too difficult, but can be a little tricky. Next, we're going to walk into this rock and jump onto this bush and proceed to jump on here again. Now this is the hardest part of the whole trick. We have to do a curve jump onto this branch, which means that we're just going to jump to the left first and then move to the right at the once we clear the branch. Not super difficult, but I think it can be a little tricky. Next, we're gonna aim for this second leaf on the right side of it. We're gonna sprint off and jump, and then once we're in the branch, you can spam crouch really quick to land a little faster. And we're gonna come up to this top side of this rock, and we're just gonna drop down. You can sprint as well. You're not gonna die, but landing on the edge of the branch here, the stump, is a little better. Okay, now we have to hit this load. Don't go too far to the right or you risk being pressure launched or stuck under the map like this. So we're going to come to our left side. I like to aim for this branch or stump, and then we can proceed back into the level. Now, if you did the full path route, this is where you can start to follow along again. The only difference is there's going to be some enemies, and these enemies will mess up your sprint cycles. So now that we're here, we're going to do a slide jump off of this rock. Alternatively, you can also do this branch if you're having trouble with this rock. So there's this dark line here, this dark green line. We're going to sprint off of it. We're going to crouch right at the end. And that was a pretty mediocre slide. Let's do a few more. That one we hit the ground. That was a pretty good one. We hit the rock. And now let's do a few on the branch. So let's do that again. You can cut sprint really early for the branch, or you can sprint the whole way. It's up to you. Now, if you choose the rock, it's faster, but it's also a little bit more tricky. If you choose the branch, you have a risk of dying. It's not a big risk, but it takes a little bit of practice. So, yeah, rock is faster, but it's harder. Branch, I would suggest branch for pretty much everybody. Now, let's say you land here. We're just going to do a muscle run every 4 to 6 steps.
I've got another IFF tag, but as far as I can tell,
And then once we're here, this is going to be a little bit of a tricky jump. As we're approaching like this sunlight darkness spot, you're going to jump and crouch while holding forward. Now to get the maximum jump here without doing a spring jump, we're going to walk into the wall, and once we touch the wall, we're going to jump and crouch.
That's the friend or foe tag.
Now we're going to pick up our DMR. After we pick this up, I'm going to hurry and turn off my natural checkpoints. And now once you get that, you can do whatever you want for a minute. Make sure to get the grenades, so you can just run away, go out of bounds, whatever you want. It's a fun little out of bounds you can do here. I can show in a Harks run, say
Chief, they're friendlies.
that's pretty cool. Okay, once we come out of this cutscene, there's going to be a DMR Marine on the left side. You want to kill him and take his ammo. We're going to then switch to our AR and pick up this shotgun as we come around the corner. Then we're going to take roughly this route. It's a bit tricky. You can kill things as needed. Another route you can do here if you have trouble with this one is to go to the far right side. This is more of the legendary route, but it works for easy as well. You can shoot this guy if needed. Now for this jump, let's kill this guy. We're gonna crouch jump onto here, and we're not gonna move. Once we're here, we're gonna jump into this corner, and while we're holding into the wall, we're gonna jump and crouch. That will get us up here, and this is an enemy deload. You definitely want to do it. Okay, now we're going into the first fight for the mission. Once you pass this log, everything will spawn. We want to go for a little slide jump here. Didn't get it. Now, the necessary enemies for this area, this first one, is that Watcher. Now, as you're moving up to this second spawn area, you want to kill some crawlers, but don't be worried if you can't kill them all. Just kill one or two of them that are kind of in the way, especially the ones up here. So, kill these guys. We're going to run up here, kill this knight, and then immediately go for the Watchers so they don't spawn in the enemies. So, if they do spawn them in, they don't count towards quotas, so don't worry about them. We're going to kill 3 crawlers here. There's 3 crawlers that are necessary to spawn in the final guy. This is the final guy. You want to kill him as fast as possible. And then pick up some ammo. This railgun. Okay, hopefully all your Marines are alive. We're going to sprint down here as fast as possible, try to get a slide jump. And there's going to be a few crawlers down here. We want to try to kill at least 2 of them. We're going to do a back smack on a knight here. And you can back smack this guy or railgun him. I prefer the railgun option. Now there's going to be a bunch of crawlers that spawn here. Kill them as fast as possible. Reload. Now there's going to be one more group. And then a Watcher. Now be mindful of any Watchers that spawn because they can spawn in an additional group of crawlers. Now here you can backsmack this guy or whatever. Doesn't matter. Now when you're here, just wait here. Once this guy spawns in, it will trigger the next area. Grab your extra ammo if needed, if you have any. And then take out Cortana. Stand in the middle of the door, the right side. The left side has like an invisible wall that doesn't quite disappear until the door's open. Okay, as we're going through here, muscle run through. Be careful of the stalactites that are on the ceiling. Or the branches, whatever they are. So a little trick we can do here is if we charge up the railgun, it will actually remain charged as we throw a grenade. Which is pretty cool. You want to have your frags out, you want to charge up your railgun, throw the grenade, and then immediately shoot the railgun. So here we need to have all the Covenant dead except for 1 to trigger the Phantom spawn. Now I do suggest killing this Watcher. It's not necessary though. If you find plasma spawns, like plasma drops, pick them up. Now, as I unpause, there's going to be a railgun to the box on the right side here. We're going to want to pick that up after we kill the necessary covenant. There's also a jackal sniper on the right side. You can kill him as well. And then watch your
I'm shocked how quickly the didact has unified the covenant.
radar to see when this spawns. It'll show up as a red dot, like a red triangle. And then shoot the engine. Now, the grenades and the plasma cannon will actually do more damage than the railgun. So once you throw your grenades, we're going to then grab our gun. And we're going to target the same engine that we are shooting the grenades at. Try to get it in the gray part and not the purple part if possible. Just like that. Then we're going to want to kill these guys quickly and grab a needler if possible. You can go for a back smack on these guys, or where's the other one? I suggest going for the back smack if possible. I'll show you where they spawn in a second. I think it's pretty difficult to go for the back smack in time because of this strat. So where they can spawn is right here. Right here. This is the most reasonable one you could get to a back smack in time. Got one here, not really reasonable, and then you got the one here. So if you can get the back smack, that's cool. I just suggest getting a needler, killing one, grabbing their scatter shot, and killing the other. Alternatively, if you have more plasma cannon ammo, you can just kill them with this. Works as well. And then that's the first half of the mission. So I hope this helps, and see you back for part 2.